Hey, how's everyone doing? Happy Friday, TGIF. It's Mike Gilcreast on live on the Mike Gilcreast podcast show. I'm trying to get this this mic together. Seems like it's short. It's stuck on something. You have to go on the other side and get it stuck. All right, but I'm here live and in person. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone, especially if you're working and so forth, so on. Happy Friday. See what it's stuck on. Oh, you got it. All right. So we here live and in person. I want to give a shout out, to I'm going to be here to the punch this time. Shout out to Linda, sister-in-law, from Mike and Mel. So normally she beat me to the punch, so I'm ahead of schedule. We did our little prayer before we come online and stuff like that. We just got home recently. I had a dentist appointment today, and I want to share something with you all. Check this out. I talk to people all the time, and um, and people know me. Shout out to the dental clinic, at the hospital, and a young lady I was talking to, and people check me out, but they know me. I know they know me by the book or they know me by the podcast, and so either way, they know me, and things it out by unworthy chose forgiven. You see my wife in the background, but she's like, she was telling me about the podcast. I said, yeah, we'll be on tonight. We doing the show on finding love on the rebound, and people are really interested in this topic. Believe it or not, they're interested in this topic and finding love on the rebound because. And I was talking to a lady about it, and she was agreeing with me. Like it's so hard and difficult on trying to find love in any fashion. It is hard, and the thing is, I think, and women, please, this is especially to you. Do not lose value in yourself. In spite of what everybody else doing, in spite of what timeline people get married, in spite of what timeline people have babies, do not put yourself in those categories. If you got yourself together, if you really a woman, you're not loose, you're not whoring around, you're going to get a man, period. It's going to happen. Okay, somebody like it haven't happened yet. You got to present yourself right. Sometimes it may be the rollers in your hair, maybe this, that, you got to dress for success. Dress like you about business, and only the people about business most of the time will approach you. Seriously, but you gotta have your act together, but don't lose value in yourself because they get married. This that, another. You hear the stories like guys. This is a new way with the modern men. They don't want these women and people say all this stuff. I'm having a conversation with the lady, and we was agreeing upon how difficult. Even if I was single today, it'll be hard for me to pick a woman for real. It will be terribly hard. Why? I'm really picky for one. For two, I don't want anything. For three, I've been around. So if you selling yourself on experience, I don't care about that. If you're selling yourself on having money, I don't care about that. If you're selling yourself on how old you are, I don't care about that. So it's a lot of stuff I don't care. Well, the last one, I do care, but uh, 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 um, it is what it is. Please check the comment button. Can y'all not see the comments? I said, I put here, it says THE for the first one. But if you want to come live and ask questions, it's out there. Just click that link. I can't see, I can see people's comments if you put them out there. I can see them. And so in the chat, you got to be in the chat, not just comments. You have to be in chat, CHAT, okay? And then I can see your stuff, all right? No matter what platform you're on, you can be on Facebook, you can be on, Twitter or whatever we're live at, YouTube, but you have to be in chat, and so I can see it there. All right, because I'm on Riverside. It's a platform that we use and stuff like that, but it commingles with other different social media software. I but I don't have a comment button. I just have chat. And so chat is live. So when you put your chats in there, I can see that live. All right. And I can put your questions up on the board. But if you want to come on live, click the link and I can bring you on live as well. All right. But getting back to dating is really difficult. It's hard as you make it. Like I was on me. Like if I was single, I wasn't married, and my wife was gone, or and even if I was gone, I don't want her to wait for me. Like, oh, my husband gone. Yeah, you cry, get over it, and move on with your life. But it's hard to find a person that's real, especially dudes. Find a dude that's real. And me being a dude, it's hard for me to find a woman that's real because I would let a woman know in advance. If I was single, I'm demanding. I have expectation. I mean, boom, I'm gonna give you a list, and you be like, oh no, that's too much for me. But I work hard, play hard, and that's kind of like my motto. I'm retired, and but I still bring it. But work hard, play hard. We bring it. We have fun. We trying to find a trip down. In Bahamas or Dominican Republic, Aruba. We're looking for something. Puerto Rico. We've been looking for a trip now, so I can get a week or so away, from here because I need a break. And so I'll tell my wife I need a break, and she'll find us something. We go, whatever. I want to play water volleyball, but I'm digressing. But I'm saying I work hard, play hard. And that's how I live my life. We got a cruise set up for Thanksgiving. We have a cruise set up for Christmas. So that's what we plan to do Christmas, Thanksgiving. We on cruises and stuff like that. But that's how we live. And I'm in a film festival because I'm putting stuff together for my movie. Well, I'm part of it. I'm exec producer. And so I'll be at a film festival on the 1st of May. And so we'll be, down by Tampa, I think Tampa, at a film festival. And then and thinking August, we'll be at another one in a film festival in Chicago. So all that stuff is gearing up. The movie stuff is gearing up. Y'all just hang in there. Pray for me. Keep the prayers coming, and then we have other things coming. A book signing come up next month, end of the month. At one of the malls in Orlando. And so we'll get that posted out there on in my Instagram. All right. We'll go from there. But yeah, put your comments in there. I see okay, yeah, and that's from YouTube. So put your comments in and we can see and go from there. All right. But getting back to dating as hard as you want to be. If you real, you're gonna find a real person. If you fake pretentious, you're gonna find pretentious people. If you want to play games, you're gonna find people to play games. I'm saying whatever you want out there, it's out there. And what energy you put out, your demeanor, your face, your expressions, your smile, that's your energy. And so if you put positive energy out, you'll get positive energy back. And do not blame guys. Women, when you want to date and you're ready to get back out there, do not blame any guys. You'd be like, the guys are playing games and they have good games. Do not get mad at a guy because they had a good game. And if a guy can talk you out of your underwear and talk you his way in the bed with you, that's not his fault. Whose fault is that? I know you probably won't agree with me, but if a guy can talk and you believe everything he's saying, you're like, whoa. You're like, oh, if he say the sky is green, you're like, oh yes, oh my God, it's so green. Then you deserve to get duped. You know what I mean? And so you got to know what you want, what you're looking for when you got there. And the thing is, one girl, I was watching something, and one girl saw the guy asked her, "Is your phone charged up?" And she thought he was kind of strange, but this dude was like a murderer or something. And you gotta be careful on who you date, how fast you date. If people say you're at the club and say, "Oh, let's leave here, let's get out of here and go here." We at the store and say, "Leave, let's go out here and go, whatever." You gotta be careful. Do not be quick to get in somebody's car. Meet them there. You know what I mean? Watch your drinks. Order your drink. Stay with it. If you don't stay with your drink, order a fresh drink. And don't let nobody drug you. You got to be careful touching people's hands, this, that, and other, because people put drugs on their hand that can drug you and stuff. I mean, it's so critical now. I don't do all that. If I was out there in the market, I don't do all that dating stuff, you gotta be careful on what you're doing and people fixing food for you and this, that, and other. You gotta just be really careful and watch people's character for a minute. Don't be because somebody say you look cute or you this, that, and other. Don't be quick to drop all your guards and forget everything that you learned and everything you said you wasn't gonna do because you met somebody. Find the love is hard enough. And then to play the game is hard, and then to understand what you're looking for is hard. And then you got all these different opinions of what people. Y'all can tell I like talking about this stuff because I just dove right into it. You guys, people, and it's like it's your personal choice. Now you'll meet people, and you'll be like, you've been on the dating scene since you've been out here. I mean, you have a number of people that you've been dating? I mean, ask her the question, and they be like, I just got out here and whatever. But if they don't answer the question, how many people you've been dating, you want to know if you number 45 or 50. You know what I mean? You want to know where you stand because if they dating that much, come on, something wrong. I would get suspicious if I go on a date and then I say, "So you've been on a date market?" "Yeah, you're the 50th guy I've dated." Okay, I'm leaving you at the table. I'm going to the bathroom. I ain't coming back. And that's cold blooded. It is, but you got to be careful what you're looking for because if you're selective you shouldn't be at you should be like maybe 2, 3, something like that. If you're desperate, yeah, you should be 45, 50, 100, whatever, so because you're desperate, and if you're desperate, you're going to end up getting duped and you'll be like, oh my God, how did I get here? Do not have a pity party. Don't get mad at guys when they talk you off your feet and you like, oh my God, it's not his fault, it's your fault. Because you believed it, you was gullible, and you can't have that mindset if you're dating. You have to be open-minded. And don't be critical, but be open-minded. But don't be gullible. Don't be quick to, go one-on-one. Let's go hang out. Let's go to your place. If you go to his place, you know what's going to happen. If you go to your place, you know what's going to happen. And if you play like, oh no, ain't nothing happening here. You know what? If a guy gets you to your house, right? Like y'all can't, how should I say it? I'm trying to be nice and not, because I'm saved. I'm in church now. I'm a pastor. So I try to say things in a decent way, But when I was in my before marriage stage, right? I was single, I was out there. If I make a call and a girl come to my house, that's called, for the guys, ask the guys, real guys, right? Whatever. It's called a booty call. All right. And so you don't go, show up at my house. You already know what time it is. And so when women go or guys go, I'm in church and this, that, and other, then you shouldn't be at dude's house at 11 o'clock at night. If you're trying to find love, you're not going to find it doing things you were doing when you were 16, 17, and before you really got grown. And it's like it was different. Then you was more cautious, younger than you are older. We're too loose now. And then our younger people of this generation, something wrong with them. Because they think I'm cute, I got a nice shape, and I can get whoever. It doesn't work like that. It could be your demand, but times has changed. Guys don't think like that anymore. There are guys out there that definitely want marriage. There are guys out there you gotta hold your character just right. Because they not tolerating nonsense. Guys still want to get married to women that's out there. They still want to get married. Women still want to get married to guys. But you got to separate them from the people that's playing games. Because a lot of them playing games. Because everybody don't have what you're looking for. Everybody's not in that mindset to want to settle. And then some women think, I can't get what the guy wants, so I'm going to settle. If she settle, eventually at some point, she'll be like, I'm not happy and I want a divorce. That's why you really got to check it out. Love on the rebound is no joke. And then I hate to say this, but women, you got to look at your market value. Men got to look at your market value. Men's market value pick up later on. All right. Even if you look at sexual market value, it kind of pick up later on. They can get a lot of women in their 20s, but guys really don't move into maturity and and financial stability and stuff like that until you like past 30. You know what I mean? It can happen before, but most of the time past 30. And now your values change. Now your selection changed because you're older, you think things different. Women, you guys got it from what, 16 up. You get married at 16, whatever, but let's just keep it legal. So let's say 18 up, up to 35. That's your sexual market value. And I don't know if y'all understand that, but that's when you're most desired, you're most wanted, 18 to 35. Why I say 35? Because 35, if you're a woman, you're at critical points of not having child. After 35, that's kind of considered kind of older. So your best value for having kids is 18 to 35 and before 35, right? And it could happen after, but you get more into the critical pregnancies and this, that, and other. So we're not really talking about that. I'm just showing you it exists. And so you got to look at where can you add the most value and not bring the most liability to that relationship. Because women today, you ask a 40, 50-year-old woman, what you think you look like? Oh, girl, you know I'm fine. And it's not true. You might be nice looking. And then we always say, for black people, black don't crack, da, da, da. At some point, everybody crack. I'm just being real. I ain't showing a bunch of lines and I'm kind of older myself. But the thing is, you can't look at that as your value, your sexual market value on that's what you bring. Because at some point, you're going to get older. Your body's going to start breaking down. Things going to start happening. You're going to get older. So it don't matter. Black don't crack and I look good that I'm older. And the thing is, when you get older, things happen. People get high cholesterol, high diabetes, high blood pressure, and this and that. I mean, it's just your life evolves, so things start happening. You don't want to bring all that baggage to the next relationship. And but when you're younger prior to that, hey, that's why, I see a lot of older women getting mad because the older guys want to date younger women. Don't get mad at that. Stay in your lane. You still look good. Somebody's for you. You just got to wait on it. And it may not be the dude you want. And the thing is, we get mad. Well, I'm not a woman. Women get mad because they're like, I can't get the guy I want. It doesn't work like that. It's freedom of choice, freedom of selection. And so you can't get upset because a dude don't want you back. That you settle for this guy, you really want that guy. And it doesn't work like that. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because you're after your sexual market value, where you could get that young stud, this, that, and other, and then I talked about this on a couple of shows ago of being a single parent, trying to date, da, 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 right? And if you got kids on top of that, oh my God, that's a burden. And then a lot of women have double standards on having kids, and that's a problem. So you're trying to find love, and then if the guy you're dating tell your little kid, why don't you sit down and be quiet? Your mom's talking. You be like, hold on, don't talk to my child like that. You start having a tizzy, and dude be like, oh, you're not the one. I can't even tell your child to sit down. You know what I mean? And so a guy would spend time with you, but after the fun is over, the sexual activity is gone, he gone. You got to know. I know you don't want anybody chastising your child, but you got to know who you're dating, what the time, when to introduce them to your kid, and da 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 da. It's just so many places. Can women with kids get great men? Yes. Can get high? They call them high value men now. High value men, y'all know, and I'll give you a definition a little again. Is any dude making 6 figures up? Only what 10-12% of the population in America makes 6 figures. That's making 100,000 plus. Only 10 to 12% of people in America make that. Period. All right, and so your chances of finding somebody, they may make 70,000, 80,000, but chance of finding a dude with the number of millions of people that's in America, right? Of you finding that guy that makes whatever because you ready to fall in love, but money comes with a part of that because you look at it, you be like, he makes this much money. Oh, I can love him. And you would take an ugly guy. Oh, I shouldn't say ugly. A guy that doesn't look, how you say, look so pleasant. And because he make money, you'd be like, wow. But at some point, if the money gets stuck or whatever, you'd be like, I'm going. I wasn't attracted to you anyway. And women are dogs. Women dog guys out. In the relationship break up, when the relationship break up, then women be like, I didn't like you anyway. And so I had a woman tell me that. She said, I was only with you because I was comfortable. I was making money. Yeah, I was getting paid. So sometimes women say that because they're hurting, not because that's the true statement. They're hurting and they're trying to hurt your feelings. I don't care if you with me for money and then we end up breaking up. Guess what? Somebody else gonna be with me for the real deal, and you will still be stuck. Because once you get past 35, your value changes. And you be like, somebody's attracted to me. Somebody proposed to me. I've been proposed to 4 times. And I'll tell you now, that means nothing. When you say I've been proposed to 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, whatever, that don't mean nothing. How many rings on your finger? How many times you get married? None. So to be proposed to is like I looked at a dress in a mirror in the window and I almost bought it. It means that you didn't buy the dress. You maybe didn't have the money. You probably had to put it on layaway, whatever. It means nothing if you've been proposed to. Guys don't care about that. I've been proposed to. You married? No. Why you not married? You ain't married because something wrong. If women, you don't get married, something wrong. Dudes marry women. When dudes are in love, they comfortable, they peaceful, and you bring it to the table, dudes will marry you. Dudes, they guys, I mean, that's what I did. I wanted to marry her because she was making my life peaceful, this, that, and other. I'm like, I want to marry you. She asked me to marry her. Marriage wasn't on the table. She wasn't coming after me, chasing me down, hawking me down, looking, oh, you didn't show up. Da, 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 da. When she met me, I had women for days, right? And the thing is, I was willing to give them up to settle down to be with her. You see what I'm saying? And so when guys want to settle down and stuff like that, but they don't want to settle for anything. It's a difference between settling down and settling for anything. If you don't give me a headache, I do not want to be with you. I spend time with you, as I did with people in my past, but marriage was never on the table. And if you're not marriage material, I guarantee you this, you're going to know it. You're going to know it because you don't be like, you don't try to put all the makeup, get all the plastic surgery, get all the eyelashes and everything, and think you the baddest thing out there. And at the end of the day, give it 4 or 5 years, you'll still be single. For real. That's how it works. Don't think of yourself. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, don't think of yourself higher than you ought to. For real. And then you can have it going on because some old G's or some young boys trying to say, oh, I like to get with that. They can't marry you, nor can they take care of you. And so what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I believe a woman's objective at some point is to be the housewife, and a dude can afford to take care of her. I think that's the norm of what we pass and neglect for centuries, for decades. And then we get to this time, and then we got all this modern stuff. But dude don't want a modern woman. You're trying to find love. Understand what's acceptable in society right now. Understand what you bring to the table. When you're a woman, you bad. If I was a single man, I'm looking for the baddest thing out there, for real. The baddest attitude, this, that, and the other, and the confidence, and I want to see what things are about. Because if I was single and a woman ended up with me, you know she bringing it. Because you can't just get with me. See what I'm saying? Even with the past I had, the women I have, I've been married before, you can't just get with me. Women come to me now wanting to be my side piece right now. I don't want no side piece. What I'm doing with a side piece? My life is busy. It really is. When women want to be side pieces, you guys, women, y'all don't understand your value. And if I was a woman, I would never want to be anybody's side piece. For real. I want to be the one and only. If I was a woman, seriously, I'm not. But I'm saying that's my value as a man. And so even as a man, I don't want to be the other man. When I'm serious in relationship, I'm talking about not when guys are playing around. When guys play around, they'd be the other guy, this guy. I know of people that only want to date married men. I mean, married women. I know of guys that only want to date married women. All right. And so you got to know what you're looking for. When women cheat, it ain't the same. You never, ever can pay nobody back for cheating on you. You either get it together, you work it out, you stay together. Because I'm telling you, you leave that man and you don't fix it, you don't get with the next guy, and you're like, he gonna treat me better. A lot of married women, they go out and they date married men. That night, what kind of stupid stuff do that make? They go out and date married men. And so you don't get better. You got to fix it. At some point, guys cheat. All right. I've been fortunate to be faithful. I'll tell you in a heartbeat. My wife is the only woman I haven't cheated on. I've came close, but the only woman I've never cheated on. For real. I'm just keeping it real. You have to figure it out. Because you get mad. I'm leaving you. I'm leaving because I still got it going on. I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you. And the thing is, what you going to leave him to? I don't know why people think, and I'm not saying stay with a dude because they cheat on you. This is your choice, right? But I'm saying, what are your options once you get out there? And you're trying to find love on a rebound. It's a rebound. It's a reason we have conversations like this. It's a reason we have topics like this. Because as I was talking to the young lady today at the hospital, right? It's hard. It's terribly hard to find love. And when you divorce or the husband deceased, or you just broke up, or you're dating broke, we was talking and having this conversation. It's hard. And she was Latino. You know what I mean? She was Spanish. And so when you look at life, it don't matter what culture is. Love is hard, and no matter what derivative you want to look at it, no matter what culture, love is hard. Because everybody think they can do better. Because I'm 60-something years old, and I'm like, I don't even worry about relationship. For real. I don't worry about it. I'm a dude. I'm older. If I was single, I'm not even worried about a relationship. I ain't worried about getting married, getting divorced, dating, nothing. I ain't worried about none of that. And women should have that same confidence. You're getting older, you got to work with what you can. When you pass it, your sexual marketplace, your value after 35, sometimes you have to settle. It may be the dude you don't want. I know of guys, and they're in relationships, and it's like their second marriage, and the woman is in charge, and I'm trying to say it because I want to give it away. and do only get the goods once every blue moon. And he's could be, I'll say it like that, tempted to cheat. You see what I'm saying? So when you go into a relationship, you got to know what's expected. I'm telling other people, but I can't give it away. I don't want to give it away because it's not fair to them, and I'm not going to do that. But it's tough out there. And when guys realize they don't have to tolerate that, because I'll tell you, if women trying to be my side piece, it's so many women out there that's single. The dudes are in jail. They locked up. They this or that. They gay. I mean, just whatever. And you're trying to find your balance, and you're like, this is not it. But when you get older and you're past your sexual market value, you got to reinvent yourself. You have to reinvent yourself to say, this is where I am. And then you still do your list. This is what's acceptable, this will not. You might not get, that Eddie Murphy or that, I don't know, young guys, young studs and stuff like that. Chris Brown, people like, I want Chris Brown, but you may not want Chris Brown. You may not want a guy with tattoos all over his body. You may not want a guy that, have beat up their past girlfriends or relationships. You got to look at what you want, because It's some of everything out there. It's some of everything out there. You don't know what you'll get nowadays. These guys, some guys, and some women, y'all know what I'm talking about. Some women be in a relationship, they scared to date the next one because they know the boy, the man that they was with or husband they was with will kill them if they date somebody else. That's crazy. But some women can't even date because the guy might take their life. So finding love on a rebound is tough. You gotta wait till the dude pretty much get locked up or go to jail or die before you can date again. I'm bringing all things out. I know some of this stuff as a pastor. Some guys are critical. They can't handle you to date another person. If they can't have you, guess what? Y'all know the saying, nobody can have you. If they can't have you, they can't be with you, nobody. So you got to know what you want. Can you date? Are you in a domestic violent relationship? And you're locked in there and you can't go outside them parameters. You might have to leave the country, change your name, get a new identity. You know, it's bad. You got to know what you're breaking up from. And when guys date these women, you got to make sure that she didn't leave a crazy dude, in the balance, and you take her out to dinner and the dude want to kill everybody. Now, come on. I'm just showing you the different rams that's out there, and you have to know what you're looking for. You have to know how meaningful it's going to be for you. You got to know if it's worthwhile. That's why I always tell people, I say, and people are like, oh, no, it don't matter. I talk to people, white, black, whatever. I say, go to church and find, find your, be in your position just in case somebody want to talk to you that's there. Guys there. And the women, some of the women tell me they're boring. You go to church and find they're boring. But that's what I'm saying. You got to see what's your second sexual market value. You got to see where you at, where your age at. Sometimes you have to settle, and then you be mad at the dude you think is boring and square and jive and geek and this and another, and you might make the most money with him. You might have the most lavish lifestyle with him. But I'll tell you, most people, I'll be honest. I might even do a show on this. Most women like the bad boys. They like the boys. Oh, let's do this. Oh no, later for them. Da 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 da. And they're irate. They're cussing and this. They pants off their butt. Some women just like that bad boy. They go after the bad boy, and it's like it ain't worth being with if I ain't having that. But women, you only get to be 18, 19, 20, 25 once. You can't get 45, 50. I just want me a bad boy, so we can go. You can't live that kind of life. You might have arthritis at that age. You can't, you can't go like you used to go. You can't jump on the back of the motorcycle. Oh my God. You gotta be like really careful. What you're looking for. You gotta look for benefits, security. Do he got insurance for when my back give out? Do he have insurance if I need a walker or I need a wheelchair? I'm telling you, after 35, your values change, and you gotta see what you want, your options and stuff. I tell some women, I say, oh my God, because I used to do financial management. I got a license for that kind of stuff anyway. But I'm saying, hey, your Social Security, some people that gonna get Social Security, I don't even know if Social Security gonna rent your apartment. So I tell some people, I say sometimes you might have to look at marrying somebody with money. What if I don't love them? Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta look at where you at. What's your options? What's acceptable to your lifestyle you want? Because I'll tell you, homelessness. People are homeless, and that's only going to get worse. So people don't want to compromise. I ain't been that. And when you look at love, happiness, satisfaction, this, that, and other, back in the day, a lot of people that got in relationship did not get in a relationship because they was in love. Love came later. And the thing is, we do things kind of backwards now. If I ain't happy, I ain't love. And then these women, that's ghetto women, these women that's, and ghetto don't mean you have to be black, whatever. Just people with low IQ thoughts and how life's supposed to be work. Is if he ain't got a job, a car, and making 140,000, we put all these parameters on, and you 45 with 3 kids, but ain't no dude gonna want you like that. You know, you might find somebody divorced, and accept you with your 3 kids. I'm saying, let's be real for where you are, for who you are. Let's be real for what's acceptable and not. I'm in my 60s. I wouldn't dare look at a girl 18 years old. I don't want a young lady 18-year-olds. Not now. Not 18. You see what I'm saying? She 19, 20. We ain't gonna have too much of nothing in common. The exception to that, and people gonna disagree because I'm kind of like out there. Let me drink some of this. All right, I'm my ginger tea, ginger green tea, whatever. Unless you're out of the country, like younger women in other countries, they kind of cater towards or for older men. Totally different. Their mentality, their mindset's totally different than American girls at that same age. Unless you're out of the country, and your values are of such, then what I'm saying is different, because people have learned to leave the country to go, because these people in these other countries that's younger know how to cater to older men. And that's why these older men are leaving American girls and going over to, whatever, other countries and try to find their mate. It happens, it's worth it, but their value, their culture is totally different than how American girls are raised at young age. American girls young age, I want that cute boy. I want him this, that, another. You ain't worried about no money because he ain't making no money right now. And it's something you could fall in love and grow together and build your life together. You could do that. So that's a little different than what I'm saying, but it's possible. That's what I'm saying. You got to know what you want. You got to know what's acceptable. And you got to know what you can't do after you get to a certain age. You got to understand that. If you don't understand that, you're going to be in trouble, because you're going to lie to yourself. And then 5 years later, you'll be like, I'm still by myself. And then you're going to look to settle, and then it gets harder. And the thing is, you might be in your 30s, or not 30s. Let's say you in your 40s, but the guy that may be attracted to you may be in his 60s or 70s. You see what I'm saying? So you may not get that 50-year-old man that, he may not be interested. I'm not saying impossible, but you may have to, the age gap will probably broaden. And I'm just giving you suggestions. And thing is, call me wrong, but if you single and ain't nobody knocking on your door and you ain't going on dates and you ain't doing this and you ain't looking to get married, then you may have to consider some of the stuff I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? So it just makes sense at some point. You got to understand the expectation can't exceed what you can put out. Because sometimes we want more than we can get, and we know we can't get it. We take a job we can't even do just because they pay more money, and then when they find out you can't do it, they let you go. That's job. So relationships kind of like the same thing. Don't bite off more than you can chew, and like, oh no, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for this, that, and other. And people don't want less. You think you can be you. I'm me. Okay, what that mean? You got to be real about who you are, what's acceptable, what's not. Because in society, you'll see ugly people with ugly people. You'll see ugly people with beautiful people. You'd be like, how in the world did that happen? It happens. You got to use wisdom. And your beauty is only beauty for now. Beauty fade. You're not the same. I'm not the same. I'll show people my picture when I was like 18, 19, 20. And they're like, whoa, you was nice. Da, da, da. I'm not that age. Now, I take care of myself and I groom myself and whatever, but I'm okay. But I'm not 18, 19. I don't look like that. Shoot. I look like if I look like that at my age now, I probably wouldn't be married today. You know, like because I don't know, women would have let me get married. I blame women, but it'll be kind of difficult because you know, you, it's like young women. You don't get to be that all the time. Guys, America used to be like, you date, you this, that, and other. Women used to guys chasing at her. He chasing after me. He likes me. Da 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 da. That still happens, but it's on the new way side, it's not happening all the time. Guys not chasing you down all the time because women have gotten to a point where guys think women are a headache. And when a guy can look at you and know that you are a headache and he's not gonna want to invest his time and understand you as a serious relationship because it's not gonna happen. That's why you gotta understand your value. I had to understand mine. What can I bring to the table? You know, I thank God I'm still marketable if I was out there. I'm still valued if I was out there. But I don't even worry about relationships. That's the least of my worries. For real. It's the least of my worries. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to make that money. And I want to live a comfortable life, but I want to be with someone that I can share that life with, you know? And not everybody want that. Not everybody want to do that. Some people like, you know what? You can help me get my business going. I'm not the guy for you. I need somebody to push my life forward. See what I'm saying? And you gotta know what you want. You gotta know if you get a guy and he'll push your life forward. I got too much going on. I'm a film producer. I'm an author. I'm a pastor. I just got too much going on to you know uh, um, help somebody else get a new business started. I just don't have the kind of time. So you gotta know when you're meeting people, right questions to ask, this, that, and other. I'm just putting me out there as an example. So you'd be like, oh, now I see what he's saying. I understand what he means. I understand this, I understand that. You got to know what you want. A lot of people don't know what they want. They get out there, I don't know how to date, whatever. Don't date. Do your list and be selective. If you're dating and you got more than 5 people you dated within 2 years, that's too many. For real. It means you're not selective. You're taking anything. Don't just go out with somebody because they asked you to go out. No. Tell them no. If you're not interested, say no. Don't find out how much he makes the other. Because I'll tell you, you don't make your choice. If you find out what he drive, what he make, where he works, it's going to change your mindset and it may not be what you want. And then you'll find out like over 50% of people that get married, you'll find out that's not the guy I want. It's not who I want to be with, da, 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 da. And some guys, I'll tell you, this is a negative to everything. I've been talking all this stuff. Some guys are really controlling. And if you don't want a dad like controlling like husband to be, now you got to watch out for that. So what you do? So, some women be like, I heard a girl say, she lived with her guy and he pays all the bills, right? He pays all the bills. And the dude asked her a question. She's he said, what if he stopped paying the bills? What would you do? Then she was pretty much out of there. And she said, okay, if he pays the bills and he come and say, hey, baby, I don't want you to wear that. Could you not wear that? Because, it's showing too much of your body. And she said, oh, no. Oh, how you don't ask me to do that? Because he paid all the bills. You don't pay no bills around the house. And the girl said, it's my body, my rules. And the dude said, well, it's his money, his rules. So when you're in a relationship, you got to understand, what are you willing to give and take? Somebody like, if I didn't date women like that. If I was dating her, I would have kicked her out my house, for real. I would have kicked her out. Take your body and you go. Because women, and I'm not showing off, women were a dime a dozen for me. I didn't play that game that these girls play and they think they all this, all that. Because when you have that mindset, for one, she probably didn't have a father. For two, I'm just my analogy of her, because I could look at women and tell them their story, right? She probably had a father. Then she wasn't used to structure. When you become a wife, you got to know how to be submissive and how to cater to your husband to be and stuff like that, and curtail that relationship the way it is biblically. See what I'm saying? And I'm not saying be a floor mat. I'm not even talking about that. And my wife's right here. If you want to ask her a question, she can ask her question. I don't believe in women being doormat, and she gotta beg me, babe, you said last week you was gonna get my hair done. My wife, she could just go get her hair done. She don't need to ask me. Just go get your hair done. I want her to look nice anyway. You know, week ago, we went and got pedicure, manicure. I got the what's that thing called? I got the buff because I don't do that Hartner stuff. I got the buff, and they trim my nails and the cuticles and stuff like that, and did my feet. We go do that stuff together. You see what I'm saying? And but even if I didn't go, she still can. She just go and do it by herself. You know. But you gotta know what type of relationship you get into. And if the guy, you gotta find out if he's controlling. A lot of times women get with guys and they don't even know if they're controlling that. And then I wanted to cover something before because I miss all this stuff. I miss so much stuff because I talk. And people look at relationship, ask the questions. I always say, ask the questions. You trying to find love on a rebound. I was in a bad situation. Don't jump to a new relationship until after you know the old one's gone. And then you got to also know, as I said earlier, make sure he's not crazy. He want to kill you if you see somebody else. So that's one thing. But some people believe that your worth is not determined by your sexual history. And the thing is, some people believe like that. It don't matter how many people I was a prostitute. It doesn't matter how many people I was with. I'm ready to settle down with you. And some people that think it doesn't matter. But you got to find out with that other person would that matter to them if they find out you got 50 bodies under you, and they may not want that relationship with you. So you got everybody have different values. Let's answer questions. So I got into that. Hey, I got these questions, y'all better bring these questions because I'll tell you this thing, people, this is on people's minds. Like I was talking to a lady at the hospital today. This stuff's on people's mind because people do not want to be, they don't want to be single and they don't know how to date and they're trying to figure it out. So we got some questions out here, and let's just see what we got. All right, how long do most rebound relationship last? You don't know, and the thing is, I think for the most part they last a short time if you didn't learn your lesson from your previous relationship. Because I'll tell you, I was I lived a wild, crazy life, and it wasn't really rebound. I hurt people. They were more into me than I was to them. So that's I was in a relationship, but I wasn't into them. I was just with them and passing time. And so how long do most rebound? It depends. I think the first relationship, hopefully in all of them, no sex is involved until marriage, right? But a lot of times people leave that relationship, they get into the next relationship, they have sex, and they realize that's not the person they want. So that first one, you gotta be careful in that first relationship. Unless you put some time and space in there and you really thought about what you're doing before you're doing it. If you jump into a relationship as soon as you're in the relationship, chances are that relationship is not going to last. And I'm speaking from experience. All right. So that should answer. That was a good question because you got to really protect yourself. Women, I'm on your side, and I'm trying to help you because I took advantage of women, and women want me to write a book for women. So I'm trying to help women, and so I'm hard on women, but because y'all made it so easy for me when I was out there doing that dating stuff and playing the fields and stuff, y'all made it so easy. Y'all didn't have a standard. Y'all liked the guy, you like what he was driving, you like the money he was making, then you give yourself up real easy. And then if he's nice looking, you know, it just makes it that much easier. No, we got to change that. All right. Is that right? Let's skip that one. I ain't do that right. All right. Do you believe that a rebound relationship is a distraction from dealing with the pain of a previous breakup? I think so. I truly think so. I think some people make mistakes. Like young girls, when they leave their house, they jump into the first relationship they could get into just to get out their house. They end up getting abused. They end up getting pregnant. they end up getting into controlling relationships just to get out. They're like, I'm leaving. I'm tired of all these rules. Mama this and mama that and daddy this and that. Some women leave those relationships because of incest. They're like the stepfather or the brothers or whatever, they having sex when they want to leave. And the outcome's the same for both, whether they was in an abusive relationship, incest, whatever, or they want to get out the house because they thought they was grown and they want their moms to tell them what to do, what to wear, this and another. So for those three reasons, incest, abuse, or they don't want to listen, they run into relationships that's a brick wall. The relationship brick wall, and they think they move into something better, and then they have to settle for everything they don't want. And then they don't even know if the guy that they moving with, he's clean or not clean, take a shower, don't take a shower, wash his hands, don't, making money, not. Some of these guys are date these girls, and then they make them trick for them. So you gotta be careful, women, seriously, because it's so many things out there. I mean, I'll be honest. If you read my book, it's in there, but I'm not going to spell it out for you. But women were giving me money. I say it like that. They were giving me money. Makes no sense. Women were giving me money. You know, and I'm like, one woman went to jail because she was stealing to get me some money. Because she I'm serious. I am serious. Y'all gotta read my book. And but women, y'all, you ain't got to pay for nothing. I can't understand how a woman, I'm serious, this is Mike Gilcreast, right? Well, like guys go to strip joints, right? But women pay dudes to come and dance in front of them, and then they pay them to spend time with them. They what do you call them? Cougars and this and another. They pay them for this because they're lonely. They pay them, women shouldn't have to pay a guy for nothing. For real. That makes no sense. They lost their values, and I was not one of those guys. I had older women that liked me. I'm almost lost for words, but I used to say when older women liked me, because I dated older women, but I was young and their old was under 25, so it wasn't old. But I always say I don't do charity. I'm not the guy. You can't be my age and you can't be older than me. I, I don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? And so I don't feel value added. So I'm telling you, that's why you got to know what you want. And I'm giving you some of my own personal beliefs. All right, but people run to other relationships just to get out of the previous relationship. But the thing is, those a lot of time I call them scapegoats. That's the one to get you out of the situation. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have sex. People do it for all the wrong reasons. And then you realize that's not what you want. I'm telling you. And then the first thing that guy does in that relationship or that woman does, it's going to remind you of the relationship prior to, and that's going to make you break up faster. Now you're like, I done gave my body to this guy and I have nothing to show for it. I'm telling you, that's how it works. It's terrible, but that's just how it works. And me being a guy, right? I always keep it real. I've been in some relationships and I ask myself this question: what am I doing here? It was no attraction. And I asked myself, what am I doing here? I was disappointed at myself. So I'm saying, so I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. I'm letting you know how it is. So I'm saying all this stuff, that's trying to hopefully to help people, and people don't ask the right questions. A lot of times you don't. You don't ask the question, especially if you're single and you're in a rebound or you're about to break up with somebody. Ask your question, because it's out there. Been there, done that. All right. All right. Do most rebound relationships fail? Yes. I think I don't know the statistic number of that. If I think about it, hopefully I have that number for the next time. What's the percentage of rebound relationships surviving? It should not be that first one. First one, it shakes the dust off you to get out there and you figure out what you want. But do not get intimately involved with that first relationship. That first one is not good. When you're on the rebound, that first relationship is not good. Don't do it. all right? Unless you gave it some time, a year, 2 years. And if it's something like that, you thought it through and you have an interest, that would probably be my only exception. All right. What are signs the spark is gone in a relationship? Hey, why y'all ask questions like that? You know, um, I'm drinking something. So, you know, I'll tell you this, and you can do your research, right? Men are staying in a relationship and they're not happy. A lot of guys, if women, you can't walk up to a guy and say, "Are you happy with me?" Because chances are, if he's not, he's going to avoid the question or he's not going to answer the question. Seriously, try it. All right, he's going to avoid it or not answer it. Because a lot of guys, if they're not happy, they're not going to tell you. But the fact is, you already know he's not happy. You already know. You know it based on relationship. So you know, the spark is gone. You know the spark is gone. Like for me, uh, uh, um, you know, I won't do nothing I used to do. That when if I was in a relationship, I wouldn't do nothing I used to do. Like I was married before, and great question, right? And the spark was gone. We ain't go out to dinner. I ain't compliment her. I ain't care if I came home or not. It just everything was dead. Every conversation was an argument. And I'm serious. And I told you I messed up that relationship, but I'm giving you the fact I just wasn't happy. And I'm telling you, when I go out, I went to work and I was trying to pick up women. And I've actually found somebody and I left my first wife and moved in with her. Seriously. I was that unhappy. I was so unhappy. And then the relationship I was in was going really well. But it's not where I wanted to be. It was the first one. I told you I lived this. Huh? Yeah, yeah. I lived this life. I lived this life, and so for me to have these conversations, I'm explaining to you how it works. And the thing is, it was nothing wrong with the girl I was with. She was in love with me. I mean, like literally, she's from the islands and this, that, and other. All that stuff's in my book. I it was me. I just was, and I'm not saying the blame just to be the blame, but I was not ready for love. I wanted a peace of mind and I ended up leaving her and going back to my wife, at the time. And and then I realized I should have stayed gone. And so when I left again, I left for somebody else and I never went back again. So a lot of guys will stay in a relationship and they're not happy. And I'll tell you, guys will leave that girl or that wife that they're staying with if they're not happy at some point. They're going to leave. And you'll be like, why? It's just he's had enough of what the relationship status is. And so I'm speaking from experience. I'm telling you, it's 100%. If I'm telling you this for me, this is how guys are. They stay in the relationship, then eventually they're gone. And you'd be like, what happened? And you will waste years. And the one thing when you waste those years, you don't get them back. You don't get those years back. You don't waste years of being with somebody and they didn't want to be with you. Guys do that. Guys stay in a relationship. Women won't. But guys are staying in a relationship and they're not happy and they just go with the status quo. And eventually they said, I'm done. And you'd be like, what in the world happened? See what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope that helps you. Um, most people will know when the relationship's over. Do you believe that someone in a rebound relationship may want to avoid commitment? Yeah, yeah, you're cautious because you've been hurt, and you may want to avoid commitments because it's like it's hard. That's why you got to heal. Once you have been in a long-term relationship, you have to heal. You have to make sure you free of that previous relationship. You got to make sure. It's like if I died or my wife died, I'm sure we need time to figure out healing. We all heal at different paces, but you got to heal before you actually move on. I have no problem. I think my wife should move on if I was gone. You know what I mean? But you got to figure out, what's out there because you'd be surprised. People like, I'm marrying me a pastor. Well, some of these pastors don't fool you. And then the other pastors, they might be on the DL. Then you got to watch out for that too. So you just gotta look at the whole thing. All right, look at the whole thing. What are some impacts? What are some impacts of a rebound relationship? Uh, I think it'll help you learn what you want to learn in a relationship if you don't commit. Because I'll tell you, once you're on the rebound, your emotions, you are vulnerable. You are really, really vulnerable. But you can't commit. And so the impact of a rebound, you could commit easily, but you'll find out that's not what you want. Seriously, you'll find out it's not. And do not date a dude who just broke up with another girl. Come on. Don't do that. I think that is truly, crazy. He just broke with somebody and you going to date. Nope, 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 nope. That dude not ready. Do not date a dude who just broke up with someone else. All right. That's rebound. We're talking about finding love and rebound. I'm telling you, you want to give it some space. Cause give it a short time, he'd be calling you her. If her name Alice, he'd be like, "Oh, Alice," oh, I didn't mean that. Dude, still think about Alice. When you're in a long-term relationship, you don't get over them easily. So you got to figure that piece out. That's a hard one. All right. Oh my God, look at the time. It says, how do rebound relationship, you got to take your time. You have to take your time. How do rebound relationships work? You got to take your time and do not get intimate. Do not get intimate whatsoever because you got to find out who you are. You got to find out, redefine your strengths, redefine your dislike. It's like walking. It's like when I got my knee surgery, I had to learn how to walk all over again. I had to learn how to lift my leg all over again. And I had full activity. I could run everything on my legs. But once I had that surgery, the muscles, everything was had atrophy or what have you, and they wasn't working. So they had to reteach me how to lift my leg. So your brain works like that when you're in relationship. You have to relearn. You gotta know what you ignored in that previous relationship you was in. You can't ignore it in the next relationship because all relationships are different. And if you ignore what you ignored before, you'll end up like you were, not married or married and not happy. So both cases, you're not going to be happy. And so that's terrible by itself. See what I'm saying? And when you know people that's going through and been broken and stuff like that, and they say, I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm having fun, I'm having a ball. And they're lying. I'll laugh because it's funny. I'm like, oh yeah, what's up? What's up? And when I was breaking up with girls, some of them girls I really liked. I was dating girls left and right. Some of them I really liked. And they broke up with me. I'm like, oh, my pride was hurt, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm going to get you back. Because I like to get people back in dog or whatever. But that's back in the day. That's before I became a preacher. You know, but you hurt. And for you to, if you say you are and your husband just died, like, I'm okay. No, you're in bed by yourself, crying, wishing he was there, this, that, that. You break up with somebody you live with a long time, you're gonna be crying. And people say, oh, I'm over him. That person is out of my life. He was a dog. He was this. I never liked him anyway. And then you be crying, oh my God, we're not together. And that's just the logic of it. And the thing is, when I divorced my first wife, believe me, I couldn't wait to get divorced. But it bothered me. It bothered me that, I thought I was gonna be married one time. It bothered me that we couldn't figure it out. It didn't work out, whatever. But I finally got over it. I never yearned to be back with her. And so that was good. So I knew the relationship was over. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys and tell y'all. You gotta make sure that thing is over. Nobody wants to fail a relationship, but it happens. And the thing is, I was never right to be married the first time or when I did it. I was young, dumb, immature. People are not going to tell you that. Most people are going to tell you, I was young, dumb, this, that, and other, and I got divorced, and it's not what I wanted to do. People are not going to tell you that. But you'll cry, you'll keep it to yourself, and whatever. But the reality is, it's going to affect you. You cannot be with a person any length of time and not bother you. But you got to move on. And one thing I don't understand women. Why do women, and y'all could probably ponder this question as we about to get off, right? But why do women stay with dudes and they dogging them? That one I don't understand. I'm not gonna go into detail. We'll pick up here when I come back on. What's the day? Friday, Sunday. So we'll be back on Sunday, 8:00. Lord's willing. But why do women stay with guys that are dogging them? And you trying to find love? See what I'm saying? Why stay in that relationship and they're dogging? And so we're going to pick up on there when I come back. I just wanted to leave a cliffhanger. I want y'all to think about it. Seriously, think about that. Why do people stay in relationships? And I say women stay in relationships, but guys can stay in a relationship too, and then girls dogging them. But break it either way, and we go from there. But yeah, I want y'all to answer them for me. And I know y'all probably won't, so I'm going to talk about it because I've been experiencing that too, and I share my personal thoughts. I don't care if y'all understand me. I wrote a book and I want you to see the inside of me or see my life story and this, that, and other, and hopefully learn from it because a lot of people cry over my book and this, that, and other. The Spanish people, I have a Spanish audience and they gravitate into my book and stuff as well. We're doing a movie for it, so but why do people stay in relationships and they're getting dogged? And so we don't pick up on that. And so I appreciate, everybody know what you want, understand your value. You got to know who you are. And a lot of times we don't know. We think we're good and we're not. We think we're okay and we're not. And so be true to yourself. Be real. Don't just say you're fine and you're not fine. All right, we're done. We'll pick up next time. All right, and so here's our church information. People in the Florida area, down by Orlando, Oviedo, that's where we at. You get a chance to stop through, take a picture, come and see us, and we go from there. But yeah, I appreciate you, we just keep things moving. But I like to keep it real, regardless. And I always say, faith, connect to the power words, bring forth the reality of God. But that's our information, and we can go from there. All right. So we have that, and seriously, I appreciate everyone as we go forth and talk about all the different stuff and whatever. I think this is a fantastic show. I love relationships, as you can see. My wife wanted to be here with me, and she in the background, but to hear the show live and in person. But it's pretty awesome, to have something worthwhile and believe in what you're doing, and so it's hard to find that. But when you do, I'm trying to share it with the world. Hopefully I can change your relationship too. All right.
God, you taught me to trust you. You show me how to believe. You're the author and the finisher of what you started me. So I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm gonna hold on to peace. 'Cause if I